I think Coonawarra I've always known about for a very long time early in my career, so I always think of it as quite separate, basically to the terra rossa soil. It has a very sort of distinctive terroir. I think it always doesn't really make you think of Cab. It is always kind of synonymous with Cabernet Sauvignon. I think the probably only difference, and probably maybe a slight weakness to the area in the sense of why, from my early career knowing about it quite well to not seeing so much of it anymore, is again, I think a lot of exciting things have happened in Australia and things like Mornington Peninsula, parts of Victoria, these sort of newer areas that have probably taken a little bit of the focus, which isn't a negative on Coonawarra, but I think maybe that's where it kind of has already expanded to the point it is, and there's not been anything that it's still ticking along doing what it's been doing for a long time and improving, but it hasn't necessarily done anything new that's caught the eye, and Sminnies are just as bad as other people. We like new and shiny, or we like different or special. So I think that can sometimes be a bit of an issue as well. So I think that, but you definitely always think of it as a separate terroir. It's got its very much own distinctive style. And I think most sommeliers, at least I hope, would know that off the top of their head and recognise that.
Yeah, and as you say, I guess part of Australia's profile over the last 10 years or so has been to push as many of its regions as it can. So I suppose, which is great for Australia as a whole, but it might, each region has to make sure it's keeping up with its share of voice, I suppose.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think just more, if you talk about, what has been talked about more probably in the UK has been those sort of more emerging regions. So it's just more probably what's had a bit more fire under it in that sense.
Yeah.
And maybe Coonawarra's it's lost a bit of love from maybe Australia itself pushing it.
Yeah.
And I think also that you look at what is popular within the UK in sense of drinking scene at the moment, at least in London, Burgundy does dominate. It is sort of talked about thing for sort of fine wine, and so wines that compared to Burgundian style wines tend to do better. That's why things like New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc or sort of Oregon or regions like this start to do really, really well, I think, in the on-trade at the moment, because they are other options to that style that people are looking for. And for Australia, it's Grenache. There's a lot of more finer, lighter Grenaches that are becoming very popular as well.